It's a Thursday, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm thirsty right now for some winners. Let's go. Let's go. It's Last Minute Betting with the Sports Nuts, Bob and Mike and Joe Madden with your quick fix for sports betting. Brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company in the universe, by the way. Hey, you want 20% off your new OddsJam subscription? Use this code BOB20 or Mike20. And if you want to get into the best sports betting Discord in the universe, this is the one. The link is below in the description. We are excited tonight. It's going to be a great night of sports betting, just like every night is, but especially tonight. I can't wait. Can't wait to talk to Joe and Mike about hockey. God, I love it when people know stuff about hockey, man. Ain't nothing like it. Welcome to you all. Let's make some friggin' money. What do you say? Let's go. All right. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, little cowbell to enter into this. All right. Joe Madden with us. And Joe, I got first dibs on this question, Mike. All right, so I got a $100 free bet. And here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about taking Carolina minus 1.5. It's plus 185. Thoughts?
If they win it, they're definitely going to cover that puck line. The New Jersey Devils with their back against the wall tonight. Who's the goalie? I can't find if it's Smith or Vanacek. Who's coming out for the New Jersey Devils? Because I'm not getting confirmations. I'm not getting any props on the books I use. That's going to be a huge question mark here if the New Jersey Devils can get things together. This team offensively has been so inconsistent. 8 goals in one game and only 1 goal in each of the others is just crazy. What Carolina has done to them, shutting down them offensively. So backs against the wall, scary situation, though. I'm hearing you, though. If Canes win it, they definitely cover that puck line.
And, Mike, you're on the Canes tonight, so she thinks they cover the puck line. So there you go.
Yeah, if they win, I mean, here's the thing, New Jersey, we see this in the NHL. You know, when teams are, facing elimination, their backs are against the wall. It's just so hard to sweep a team and beat them in 5 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It seems like almost every series, at least goes 6 or 7 games. It's just always been that way. So a little worried New Jersey being a really good road team as well, but Carolina's good at home. If you're Carolina, you got to close this out tonight. I think it would be the perfect opportunity to do it. If you give New Jersey life, then you got to go on the road. We know that Carolina has had road struggles in the playoffs before. They got to win in New Jersey that last game, so they got that out of the way. I don't think they want to go have to test themselves one more time and then potentially end up in a game 7. So leaning, yes, with Carolina to get the job done. But
okay. How about this? Tough. The overs in both games. The number is 5.5 in both games. And I'm shocked that it's not higher.
Yeah, I completely agree. And if you dig down further into the Devils and the Canes game, you can get the Canes team total over 3.5 at plus 136, which is completely mind-boggling to me. Because you look at this Carolina Hurricanes team, they've had 4 or more goals in every single one of these games. Even the game that they lost, they still got 4 goals versus the New Jersey Devils. So I do think the Canes can get the points on the board. If you think the Devils are going to get the points on the board, you got to go over the 5.5 or 6. There are some 5.5s out there, but you're going to lay juice. My thing is here, I think the Devils come out. That first period is going to tell us everything. So I'll end up live betting this one a lot more than getting these bets in before, because I do think the Devils' first period is where I'm going to lay my money to start this game at plus 105. If they can show me what I think they're going to show us with their backs against the wall in that first period, then I think this is a game where as soon as the Canes come out and score in the second, we jump on the Devils on that puck line, whatever value we're getting there, because I do think it ends up being one of those games where the Devils stay competitive in this one.
Okay. Right. You both talked me out of that. All right. Tony's here. Yo, Joe, didn't know you'd be here. I should have waited for my hockey picks. Stephen Lancaster, Starry Night. We're all on the Canes, or me and Mike are, and now Tony is too. I don't know much about hockey except what a penalty kill is. So did puck dogs join Odd Shopper? I pick dogs. I have no idea, Neil. You're asking the wrong dude there. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. Mike's going to give his parlay, and you and I are going to comment on it. Now, just to give you a little background on Mike's parlays, they're really good. They're very consistent.
We're rotating wins and losses right now. So if that's the case, tonight we could be in good business. I will say that. So we'll see. This New Jersey Carolina one is a tough one for me. It really was. I've got, I said at the beginning of the year, I liked Carolina in the East. And so maybe I'm being biased in going with them tonight on the money line, but I just think that they've taken control of this series and they got to close it out on home ice again. If they lose this game, now you got to go back on the road. They've piled on 21 goals in this series. I think that they need to score first, get the crowd into it. And if that happens, we should be in good shape. So I did take Carolina money line, and then I took Dallas money line. They got a big road win against Seattle to even this series up. I think now's the chance for them to take control. I think Dallas is a better defensive team. And not only this, Dallas is tied with Carolina for the most goals scored in these playoffs. So both Dallas and Carolina are lighting it up offensively. And Dallas at home, 12-4 in their last 16, 7-2 of their last 9 at home. I'm going to roll with the Dallas and Carolina money line 2-leg parlay and see what happens.
Thoughts, Joe? What do you think?
You're not going to like me, Mike. I'm not sold. I really am not. I think the Seattle Kraken have every ability tonight. Grubauer had an absolutely terrible game in the last game. Jared McCann came back in the last game. He played limited minutes, 13 minutes and 11 seconds out there on the ice. We know what a difference maker he was in the Colorado series before he went out after that hit by Cale Makar. I think we see Jared McCann come out here on fire tonight, find the back of the goal. Jordan Eberle, I love what we're seeing out of the Seattle Kraken. This is a team that all of their lines can score. They're not just a team that's dependent on their superstars. So I do think the Kraken, with how these two teams have been going back and forth with the wins, I think the Kraken come out and get it done tonight. I think they have every opportunity. I don't trust Jake Ottinger against the Seattle Kraken. They found a way to hit him and hit him hard.
Very good, very good. And you know what? I'm on the Kraken plus 1.5 tonight. But let me tell you something. This is my philosophy with picking games or rooting for teams in the NHL playoffs this year. Any team that has an ex-2019 Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues player, I'm rooting for. So that would be Vegas. That would be Seattle. That would be Carolina, and that would be the Leafs. Okay. And by the way, what do you think of has Ryan O'Reilly not taken that team on his back and tried to carry him? If Matthews and Tavares and Marner and Nylander would follow his lead, they would whip everybody.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ryan O'Reilly, they wouldn't have made it through to the second round. He is such a difference maker for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I love everything I've been seeing out of him. We knew that when they picked him up at the trade deadline, then he went out with the broken thumb. So it looked like doom and gloom for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But yeah, he's been an absolutely difference maker. That being said, can they beat the Florida Panthers? Can they put up the same fight that they did in the last game? I don't know, you guys. I really do think there's something special about this Florida Panthers team. Matthew Tkachuk is playing phenomenal hockey. And then you look at Montour silently just getting the points out there. He's been so dominant on the ice. No one's really talking about him. But I think this Florida Panthers team has everything it takes to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the next game and finish it off.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do have to say one thing, though. Let's go to the Vegas-Edmonton game last night. Alex Pietrangelo, Mike, did you see the slash at the end of the game on Draisaitl? With the game, I mean, it's over. There was really no reason for him to do that. Very disappointed. And you know what? He's he's going to get it. He's got to get a fine for that. Don't be surprised if he gets suspended. And if he gets suspended, that changes that series around. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, that's no need for that. And I mean, ironically, Pietrangelo was on the other end of that the game before, where Evander Kane kind of gave him a little bust in the mouth there at the end of and got a penalty for it at the end of that. I think it was the first period in that last game that Vegas dominated. So if you're Alex Pietrangelo, you got to know better than that. You're a veteran. You've been around. You just had something similar happen to you. I know the game's over at this point, but that's cheap. And I don't want to see a guy like Draisaitl go out because of a cheap shot like that. I mean, if you want to beat the Edmonton Oilers, beat them at their best.
Well, one thing we saw out of that, Joe, is Connor McDavid doesn't need to try to fight because he fights like me.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, he definitely should never fight. I can remember the first time he ever got on a fight, his first game, one of the first games for Edmonton, and he actually punched the board coming down to punch over someone and broke his hand. So he's not actually allowed to fight out there. He just has to play hockey. Don't let Connor McDavid fight. That's the worst thing.
I forgot about that. I thought you were going to say he punched himself. But anyway. Anyway, all right. So look, here's what we got going on, folks. We're going to do a 3-leg parlay with each one of us picking a leg, okay? And we're doing the $25 giveaway if it hits, just like we have done every night. And we hit the first night. We haven't the last 2 nights.
Somebody got paid. So Bob sent her $25 and
sent her 50.
Oh, that's right. We did the 2.
Tony sent me 25, and I was going to include you in that, Joe, but I didn't have time to talk to you about it. Maybe next time we'll do it. Here's what you got to do, folks. You have to follow all 3 of us on Twitter, okay? Number 1. Number 2, you must retweet the tweet that Mike is going to put out, okay? At Mick Grasso. See him there? Mick?
Me.
And I try to inject some humor all the time. And you need me. Well, I'm sorry. I can't take shots at her. Come on, dude.
Well, no, nobody said you had to take shots, period, man. I mean,
all right. Okay. All right. And you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Pretty simple. All right. Very, very simple. Joe, you're going to retweet this. All your people are going to see it. Let's get a bunch of people involved. And you know what? Let's hit a parlay tonight. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to share my screen and go to the OddsJam website. And Joe, what sport will you be picking out of? NBA, MLB, or NHL?
Let's go NHL.
All right. So I'm going to pull that up there. And let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. And we're going to put this parlay together right now. And since you said NHL, you get to go first. What game and what are you picking?
You're going to look at the Seattle Kraken versus the Dallas Stars. I'm going to take Jared McCann here for over half a point. 1+ points, over half a point, however your book does it.
Ooh, neat.
Okay.
Nice,
like
man.
That.
She went a different route.
Yeah, no,
I
like
it.
that.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's add that to the parlay. You see a little $sign there, folks? It says add to parlay. Now, you know what happens? You go up here, and this little $sign turned purple. Now we got one leg. Mike, I'm going next.
You're going next? Okay, fair.
I'm going to go next. Gosh, I don't know what to do, though. By the way, my leg won last night. Remember, I was the guy who took the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I won. I don't know whether you knew that or not.
I do. Trust me, I do.
I think this series with Boston is going 7 games. It was a morning coffee pick. I'm going to take the Celtics on the money line.
Okay. I'm not going to say a word because I did that last night, and your leg hit and mine didn't. So
exactly.
Great pick, Bob. I love it.
Plus 256 right now, folks, is where we're at on Bet Rivers. And Mike, you get the last leg.
You know, I'm going to stay in the NBA, and you're so into these game sevens. Let's have another one. Let's go Phoenix, Denver, and let's add Phoenix on the money line in it.
Ooh.
Phoenix plays much better at home. As you know, the role players for the Suns, and that's just how it is in the NBA. Guys play better. Role players, bench players play better at home than they do on the road. We know that they're not working with much for a bench because they gave that all up to get Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant, Devin Booker does their thing, and the role players step up a little bit tonight, and the Phoenix Suns get the job done.
Here we go. Here's the three-legger. McCann to get a point. The Celtics on the money line. The Suns on the money line. Plus 530 on Bet Rivers. I'm actually going to bet this on DraftKings. It's now added to my bet tracker. I could show you that real quick, folks. And then we're going to talk a little NBA playoffs. I want to hear what Joe has to say about what's going on in these series and whether the Joker is going to come through with another big PRA. There it is, folks. McCann over on points to get a point. Celtics and Suns money line. So, Joe, are the Celtics going to do it tonight? Do you feel as good as I do about them winning this game? You're going to say no.
No, you guys are going to hate me. No, I don't believe the Boston Celtics come out and get the win. I rode the 76ers in the last game straight up on the money line, plus the points as well. And I got the big return. And I love what we're seeing out of Embiid. I love what James Harden is bringing to the table. And yes, he's been up and down over this series, but I do think he comes to play tonight. And looking at the 3-pointers, which teams can we count on to make those 3-pointers to get up in this? The Boston Celtics are trending in the wrong direction for how their 3-pointers are sinking, and the 76ers are trending in the right way. So I think the 76ers get it done. I'm grabbing them plus the points, sprinkled a little bit on that money line. We know the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum are going to come to play tonight. They need everyone to show up, though. It just can't be the Tatum show. Players like Derek White have to come, make a huge impact, but we haven't been seeing. We didn't see it in the last game. Derek White hardly showed up on the court, wasn't able to get anything done, it seemed like. Jason Tatum can't just carry this team by himself, and Jaylen Brown. They need the supporting characters in this to get those points on the board. I do think the 76ers with Embiid and James Harden get things done. So I think they dominate tonight, and I think they get the win on their home court.
Well, you know, I'm with you on that. I do like Philadelphia to close this thing out initially, but again, it was your pick, Bob. We'll roll with it. Is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Boston is just not matching up well with Philadelphia in any way. Defensively, they don't look the same. James Harden's been dynamite. You got the MVP and Embiid. They have nobody that can stop him and man him up. I like Philadelphia tonight, but Phoenix I'm confident with. I really am. I think they can get the job done at home tonight.
Man, that's texted to you, Mike. You can go ahead and post that now. Joe, what do you feel about that second game?
Yeah, the Suns have to bring it tonight. I really did have faith in them in the last game, and Denver just completely shut them down. I do think this home court advantage is just killer between these two, which means we're going to see Game 7 in Denver if the Suns can pull it off tonight, and then Denver takes the series, which is kind of sad. I really did want Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to be able to win the series. I just don't know if they can in Denver. I think that Game 7 will be crazy if they can get the win tonight. But we need Kevin Durant and Booker to just go off tonight. And I have faith in these two players to go off and get this done. Now, Jokic is a driving force for the Denver Nuggets. We know he's going to bring his A game. I think this one flies over the total. I like the over in this. I think we see those points come fast in this one.
So I don't know whether you knew this or not, Joe. You probably did because you're a sports bettor on a daily basis. Do you know that Jokic, his over PRA hit almost 70% of the time? In my opinion, the number one bet for the whole year, in my opinion. I mean, you just don't find that, okay? And he almost went over 54.5 the other night. If it had been a close game, he'd have went over, but they took him out and he wound up at 54. The guy's unbelievable. By the way, Alan put this out here. This is true. I think it was on Underdog or something like that. The over on Embiid falling on the ground.
Crazy.
I love it. I love it.
That's great. Yeah,
Tony's got Ray's money line. Who can figure that? But hold on, before you go, Mike, you got to understand our friend Tony here. He's from Boston. He's a big Celtics guy, and he's already had to get over the Bruins. I mean, that was tough. Okay, I mean, he had a lot on the Bruins, futures, all that stuff, and it all fell apart. And now he's really bumming out. And if the Celtics lose, oh man, I don't know if they'll be able to come on the show Monday, Mike.
No, he may not be able to. So unfortunately, yeah, you just said no Bruins talk. Thanks. Yeah, and there probably won't be much Celtics talk after this either, Tony. I'm just not sure about this team. They've just not looked like the team they were last year that went to the NBA Finals, and I think Philadelphia is the team. I really do. I think they go to the NBA Finals this year. I think they'll beat Miami. I think they'll beat the Knicks. I really do.
Okay. Well, all I can tell you is that I picked the Leafs last night and they won. Okay. So
you've said that already.
Tonight, and I sure hope Jared McCann gets a point because I'll be giving you some trouble there, Joe.
He should come to play. Look how dominant he was.
Oh yeah. No, I actually really like the Kraken. And there was a guy that nobody talked about when he left St. Louis, and that's Jaden Schwartz. I don't think people realize the impact that he has as a two-way player. Good offensively, not great offensively, but can't score the timely goals. There's
2 goals last game.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. So great stuff. A beautiful day. What are we thinking about baseball real quick? We only got a few games left. First off, I don't want to talk about the Cardinals, so forget that. I don't know if you want to talk about the Blue Jays. Yeah, I know.
That's right. No.
Let's talk about who.
I have so many troubles. I don't like talking about my Blue Jays right now. That's for sure.
Right, and I don't want to talk about my Cardinals. So let's talk about a team that is actually the former St. Louis Browns, and that is the Baltimore Orioles. Just took 2 out of 3 from the Rays. A team that I think was up and coming. Mike, didn't you say that you thought they were an up and coming team? Joe, I want to know what your thoughts are on them. I think they're legit contender.
Yeah, they are. They're doing surprisingly well. 11-5 at home, 24-13 straight up on the season. Not the team that I expected to come out. Now they're going to start that series tomorrow with the Pirates. So that will be really interesting to see how they can do against the Pirates, which is another team that's been so surprising this season. I think you guys would agree as well.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect them to be doing as well as they're doing. So I think the Orioles, they will do well. This is a solid team. They've got great pitchers, and I don't know, they could make a run, you guys. They're starting the season off exactly how we need them to.
Pirates are on the downside. They've really fallen off. I knew they couldn't keep up that pace, but the one thing that Pittsburgh and Milwaukee are trying to do, and that's just make contact and put the ball in play. There are so many people that are out there trying to lift the ball and hit home runs, just hit line drives. Mike, you're not surprised with the Orioles at all, are you?
No, I mean, last year they had a tremendous year. They had a winning season. If you remember, you had the Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Orioles, all 4 with winning records last year. And the Orioles were tremendous most of the season, especially second half. I remember them being really good, and I thought at one time they would have a chance to sneak in and make it in the playoffs. But a successful season when you think that Baltimore, I think that was their first winning season they've had in quite a while that I can remember, at least off the top of my head. So a good year for them, and they've built on it. And I thought that this year they would be pretty good. That AL East is, I mean, Boston's played better this year too. You got Tampa Bay. It's loaded. It's a loaded division. It really is.
So you guys, I don't know whether you guys knew this or not. May not. But back in the 70s, the Orioles were a dominant team. Didn't know that, did you? As a matter of fact, they're the only team in the history of baseball that had 4 20-game winners on the team. You know who those 20-game winners are? Dave McAnally, Mike Cuellar, Jim Palmer, and Pat Dobson.
Nice.
4 20-game winners on one team. Needless to say, they did win the World Series, but I'll tell you what, back in them days, the Big Red Machine against the Orioles was really, really tough. So I'm glad the Orioles are doing good. Okay, so we've covered hockey, we've covered basketball, we've covered baseball. Is there anything else? Oh, CFL is going to be starting soon. I know preseason is going to be starting for the CFL. You guys excited up there about the season? And who is the favorite going in? Do you have any? I'm just asking because you're up in Canada.
You know what, Bob? I love the CFL and I hate the CFL all in one breath because we start those seasons off and right away I'm screaming at the TV why they're kicking it away because my head plays by American rules and coming to the Canadian rules, it is frustrating. And it becomes this game where a lot of people love it. But it takes me a while to get into favorites at the top of my head. I'm not sure who they have favorite. Montreal Alouettes always really come to play. The BC Lions actually had a really impressive season last season. My Calgary Stampeders, I know they're out there. They're already practicing. So it's good to see them out there on the field. But at this point, I haven't started looking into who everyone is going to be and all the changes because Calgary, their quarterback left. I can't remember where he went. Now I'm drawing a complete blank, but big changes across the league.
And then real quick, the XFL, their championship is Sunday. Did you watch any, and what do you think of some of their innovations?
The Vegas Vipers burnt me and they burnt my wallet. So then I stopped watching. I was so mad, Bob. Everyone's so high on this team. And I lost those first couple games with the Vegas Vipers. And then I just dropped out of betting the XFL. I was like, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. I was so frustrated. So I do like what they're doing. And I do think it's going to be something that can be sustained. We all love watching football. As soon as we start to learn these players and really get to know these teams, I do think that love and that passion will transfer over to all football fans for the XFL.
Very good. Very good. All right. You know what? We're going to end the show on that, folks. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Joe, thanks for coming on. I love it when you come on. I wish we could do this every week. I know you have a busy schedule, but we have to continue to try to talk a little bit of NHL playoffs because
Absolutely.
I love it, Mike loves it, and you love it. And we
Absolutely,
love you. All right, we love our audience. See you later. Peace.